Today we're going to go over pet odor deodorization. I've been watching the statistics of what we do, and I can print out each technician exactly what all they've done, how many sofas you've done a month or any given period of time. I can put the given period of time, I can bring up the service, I can put in multiple services, and I can print out per technician exactly how much carpet you've cleaned, how many steps you've cleaned, how many injections you've done, how much deodorizing you've done, how many sofas you clean, how much towel and ground, all the services that we provide through the software. I can bring it up and see exactly what you've done. One of the things that I'm noticing is plus sales. We're really not working hard on plus sales. Okay, we did a whole video on plus sales, and one of the things we're going to do is if your plus sales drop down for any reason, we're going to bring you in and you're going to sit down and watch 4 hours worth of videos again to go through training again, because we want you guys to know how to do it. Okay? How many of you heard me go through the difference between an A technician and a B technician? Okay, 1, 2. You've heard it, haven't you? Been here long enough? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Difference between an A technician and a B technician. I've changed it a little bit now, the difference between an A technician and a C technician when I talk to new guys and go over it. If you're not doing plus sales, it can make a huge difference in your paycheck and the company's overall welfare. Okay, we're not a nonprofit organization. We have to make profit. How many trucks can we send out carpet cleaning? Well, I know that was a real tough question. How many trucks can we send out carpet cleaning?
4.
4 trucks. We can't send out 5, right?
Nope.
Why can't we send out 5?
You only got 4.
We've only got 4 trucks on it. So we want to make sure those 4 trucks are producing as well and as good as possible. I get calls. This is a very sad call. I get a call saying, "Had you guys come out and clean the car?" And I got one this week, in fact, and we're going out and do a redo on it. The call went something like, you guys cleaned my carpet, you know, it looked like you did a really good job. But after you were done a couple days, notice that I still had the pet odor. Pet odor. So what's the first thing you think I do? Take a guess. Take a guess, Trevor. Got a customer on the phone. The call gets to me because it's a complaint. And they say, did a really good job, but after a couple of days, I still had the pet odors. What do you think I did?
That you asked.
Schedule them for more jobs.
No?
Thank you, Robert.
No?
I had to transfer deodorizer.
Say it again?
Deodorizer.
Deodorizer? Okay. What I do is I bring their ticket up in work waiver out point. Okay, I bring their work order up and I see if they got deodorizer. No deodorizer. I said, did the technicians ask you about if you had pet odors? No. Did you mention it to the technician that you had pet odors? No, but I thought the cleaning would take care of it. Does the cleaning take care of it? Pet odor removal? Why? It's not a deodorizer, it's not soap to clean it. No, and we're going to go through that today, and that's why we're having this, so that you can see exactly what to tell a customer and how to sell it. Okay, this business started with me on a truck. Believe it or not, I worked a truck for over 10 years. So that's a lot of time. Dave has actually beat me now, Dave. Congratulations. Okay, but that means a lot of houses that we were in and everything else. And I sold a tremendous amount of pet odor deodorization, injections and all. Now, one thing has either happened. Customers don't have as many pets as they used to, or pets don't wet on the carpet anymore. Which one of those do you think it is? A or B?
A.
A? What do you think it is? That's wrong. Anything else? Who else wants to guess?
Neither.
Damn.
Neither.
2 for 2.
C. Let me give you a C. A C is we are not doing pet odor deodorization like we should. So is it A? Customers don't have pets anymore? Don't have as many pets? B? Pets don't wet on the carpets anymore? Or C? We're not doing the pet odor deodorization. Take a guess now. Go ahead. Go ahead. Take a guess now. A, B, or C?
C.
C. Very good. Okay. We're not doing it. And the reason why usually we don't do it is we either don't want to make any money, A, We don't know how to do it, B. Or C, we don't know how to explain it to a customer. What do you think that is? We'll let Dave answer that one. A, B, or C?
C.
C. We don't know how to do it. Okay, so that's why we're going to go over this videotape, or we're going to do this a little bit. First of all, selling pet odor deodorization. The reason why cleaning the carpet will not take care of the pet odors itself is if I took about 4 ounces of water or 3 ounces of water and I poured it right on this carpet and it sat there for a little while, where would that go? Where would that water go?
To the floor.
You go through the floor. In other words, it would go through the carpet and get into the floor. And if we have padding underneath it here, we get into the padding and the subfloor, correct? Are we cleaning the padding and the subfloor when we clean carpet? No, we're not doing anything to that. We never ever want to get a carpet wet enough that we're getting the padding and the subfloor wet. And even if we got the padding and the subfloor wet, how will we get it out of there? Is it going to be able to suck it through the padding and the subfloor? You know the answer to that is no. Customer's concept, they don't even think about that. All they know is Fifi wet over here, and every once in a while when I get into that area, I can smell it. So therefore, I'm going to get the carpets cleaned. That's their concept. You as a technician, you need to educate them why cleaning alone will not take care of that. But I think one of the biggest problems with it is, number one, you're not identifying it. And number two, you don't know how to explain it to the customer. One of the things we're doing with hiring new technicians, and I've always tried to do this, my number one thing on hiring a new technician, way at the top, there's other things. First thing at the top is, can you communicate well? Do you have good communication skills? Because in this job, you need to be able to communicate. And one thing I've learned over 33 years almost being in this business and the other business of it, it's not your intelligence for communicating. It's not your able to use great verbal skills for communication. It's just your desire to do it. One of my best guys we ever had years ago, this was BD, before Dave. Okay, his name was Jose. He was from Ecuador. He could speak English well enough to communicate. You understood what he had. You weren't here when he was here. Right? You don't remember him?
Yeah, who's here?
Do you remember? Okay, all right. He could communicate well. You could understand him, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you could understand him. Not the best English in the world, but you could understand it. But he sold the heck out of plus sales. He probably made more commission than any technician, probably pretty close to any technician I've had. One day I had to go out with him. I think I had to drop something off, but there was some reason why I was at the house. There was a big house he had, and he had to be working on a truck by himself. It may have been to the point that his helper didn't show up or whatever like that, and he ended up this big house. And guess what? Does it tell you how long ago it was? I had to go out. I went out, I drove out, and I helped him. So it tells you how long ago it was. And I just was, as a helper, I just wanted to see, I want to see what he does. Number one, he did a really good job. So he did a good job. He also engaged the customer. He would bring the customer over and show them the carpet and everything else. What was that? And then he talked about all the different things that he could provide. And that customer was following him around because that customer had confidence that, number one, he knew what he was doing, he knew what he was talking about, okay, and he could get the job done. He could take care of their needs. Now, we have a customer that calls up, wants to get their carpets clean because they smelled some pet odors on their carpet. They knew the dog had went around in that area. And it could be a $300,000 to a $3 million house. Pets don't care. They'll wet on anything. They don't care. Okay, what is that customer's need? Okay, you complicate it. Make it simple. What is that customer's need? To get rid of the pet odors. That's what that customer's need is. We as a service company need to satisfy that need, but you need to identify it. Again, that customer could just be thinking, I get the carpets clean, it's going to take care of it. We know it doesn't. So how do you identify pet odor problems? Somebody give me an idea. What's the first thing you do to identify a pet odor problem?
Smell it.
Huh?
Smell it.
Smell it. Yeah, you walk in the house. Have you ever smelled it? You ever walked in a house? Do you know the difference between the smell of a doggy smell or the smell of urine? Do y'all know the difference? Huh? Speak up a little bit louder.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Doggy smell is just like a wet dog smell. That's from their dander falling on the carpet, decomposing in there. They may have never wet on the carpet, just that doggy smell. A good cleaning and a good deodorizing of the carpet will help that tremendously. Okay, the urine smell smells like urine. Okay, I can tell the difference usually between a cat and a dog. Cat just has a different smell. Okay, and a dog does. That's only because I've done a whole lot of them. The way I used to identify it, first of all, of course, you see the pet. Number one, you smell. And if you don't see or don't smell, you look for stains. And you know what a pet odor stain looks like. Should have been plenty of there. Or you see a stain on the carpet. Ask the customer, do you know what caused that stain? Yeah, I think it's where the dog went. Well, bingo. Okay, but you got to identify every customer. When you walk into that house, you need to identify what their needs are beyond and above just plain carpet cleaning. So they have a pet. You would just address that. Do you have any problem with odors? Well, it's kind of, yeah, type of thing. I've had customers say, of course I have problems with odors. That's why I have you out here to clean the carpet. And then you go into why cleaning alone will not take care of it. It goes through the carpet, gets into the padding and the subfloor. All this makes sense. I've done this thousands of times probably in 10 years and more. And then over the phone. And then in training. So thousands of times. I never had anybody say, that doesn't make sense to me. You always kind of see a light bulb come on. Oh, yeah, that does make sense. Some of the customers know, but they would usually address it right away. The ones that don't know, they don't know. Just good cleaning's going to take care of it. So you got to go over, you got to take care of it. Right now is what I'm going to tell you that you really need to take good notes, because if you can't explain this to a customer, you cannot do pet odor injections, and you will not be a technician very long, because you will not have the good sales of plus sales. I'll call you in the office. I'll say, why aren't you selling injections? I see last month, 10 injections. And I've seen that. All the jobs you're in, 10 injections. I wouldn't do 10 injections just on any one job. It means you're not doing it. You don't know how to do it. So you got to know how to do it. And it's not rocket science. It's 6th grade education stuff. Number one, the reason why you have odors. What do you think it is? It's in there. This is what you got to tell the customer. Okay, there's 4 reasons why you have pet odors when it goes in there. It's urine, and urine is what? Why do we pee? Let's put it that way.
Waste product.
Huh?
It's a waste product. It's found waste.
Get rid of the body waste, right. So there's bacteria. There's all kinds of stuff in urine. The older the dog, the stronger it is. The older the cat, the stronger it is. Okay, it goes through the carpet. It's got bacteria in it. As the bacteria grows and multiplies is where you get that odor from. It takes 4 things for bacteria to grow. Number 1, it takes food. Food. You think there's plenty of food underneath of there? What is the food? Steak sandwich, McDonald's, that's that sort of thing. No, it's dirt. Bacteria thrives on dirt. There's plenty of dirt underneath the carpet. If you ever pulled up old carpet, that's like a screen, and fine dirt just goes through it. There's plenty of dirt underneath of that carpet, so there's plenty of food. What's the second thing? Moisture. It needs moisture. It needs moisture of about 65% or higher to grow. Moisture. This is a great area for moisture, isn't it? What do you think the humidity is out there today? Yeah, it's probably up there pretty high. Most of the time in houses, especially in the spring and fall, we don't have the heat, don't have the air conditioning on a whole lot because it's kind of in a transition. Get a lot more of the outside ambient air in, okay, causes the humidity to go high. So moisture, 60 to 65% or higher underneath the carpet, yeah. Third thing is temperature. It can't grow in freezing weather. It grows in a temperature of 60 to 65 degrees or warmer. What do people usually have their thermometer or thermostat set on inside their house? 68, 70, 72 degrees, so it's plenty warm under there. What about in the spring? When, hey, it's nice outside, it's 70, 75 degrees outside, I'm going to open the windows and I'm going to let that fresh air in. Moisture's coming in, higher temperatures coming in. And then the sun shines through the window. Shines in there, heats up the carpet. Gets warm. So one of the first things is food, moisture, temperature. What's the fourth thing? Huh? Can't hear you.
Darkness.
Darkness. Yes, these are dark places. Mold usually doesn't grow in sunshine very good. It grows in darkness. Think it's dark enough under there? So you got the 4 ingredients. Now you need to explain this to a customer. Okay? You can't just write it down and never practice it and go out and try to do it. You need to practice it so you can say it. Okay? So that you can tell a customer so that they can understand it. Okay? So you go through those things. And what we can do is you explain what we can do. And you're going to see that process of what we do. You need to be able to explain it to the customer. And I would always say as the bacteria grows and multiplies, and I would do this, as the bacteria grows and multiplies is where you get your odor from. I used hands a lot, as you can notice when I talk. And you know what the customer would say? Kill it. I had a lot of them say, just kill it. Whatever you got to do, kill it. Okay? You got a room. Family room, 400 square feet. Got a couple areas, pet odors. Want the odor gone. If you don't do it, say you could charge $150. And yeah, I have charged that much many years ago that I was working. $150. Give them the price. My idea, if I'm going to crawl around or get down there and do injections, they're going to pay for it. Okay? 10 injections I see sometimes. $150. What's their alternative if they want to get rid of that? New carpet. What do you think that's going to cost? Full 100 yards. Average of $30 a yard installed. $1,200. $150 looks pretty good, doesn't it? Now, not every job is a candidate for pet odor deodorization. But I would say 90% of the homes you're in, Dave, think about that. I mean, you get into one where they just hose the whole room down. Well, you're not going to be able to take care of that. Okay, but most of the time, they do it in certain spots. Got a spot in front of the door, maybe over here by this chair, 2 or 3 spots. Okay, yeah, that is a good candidate for it. So, Dave, customer says now go ahead and do it. Now we're going to figure out how much it's going to cost. So what do? So let's just say they wet there, there's a spot there in that corner, and we're just going to do 2 because it's there, and a spot over here in this corner. Okay? So how do we figure that out price-wise?
Well, actually, first, sometimes you actually can't even see it. So you make sure you have your hydro shark, and it's actually going to detect where it's actually, everything is, because I've actually been in cases where you couldn't even see it on the top. So just go around with your hydro shark, poke around, see if it's on there. If you get anything, you'll actually hear it beep, like so.
Why does that work? You got to explain it to the customer. They may think, hey, that's magic. I don't believe it. So how does that work? Why does that pick up pet odor?
It actually detects the salt level that's in urine.
Exactly. And salt, in urine, there's salt. Salt holds moisture indefinitely. Okay? So just that little bit. And I have them do it, so they know it's not magic. Okay? And watch where your hands are, because they may be thinking you're pulling the trigger. I tell it like that. Just put your hand across there. See it beeping? The moisture in your finger. Okay, it's enough to set it off. Okay, so if you got it here like this, they may think you're pulling the trigger back here. So yeah, I always kind of hold it up here and have them do it. Don't stick them now. Okay, so what do? You go around, and you do about every 3 or 4 feet around, right through the carpet over there, and you'll come up with the spots, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so now you've determined where it is. So we got a spot there and a spot there.
Right, so since you got 2 different spots in 2 different areas, you're going to have to treat that spot and this spot with injections. There is a minimum of 16 injections, so you got to make sure, obviously, when the dog or cat urine goes on the carpet, it goes through, and it actually spreads in the padding. So you want to make sure you cover the whole area. So what you want to do first.
Let's go back to that.
Yep.
Why 16 injections?
Because you want to make sure you cover the whole area, because once it goes down, it spreads.
Right, so one spot, if I poured water through here in the wind and it sat for a day, if I poured it through here, we treat that. After a day, that would spread out. After a month, it would spread out. That you got padding underneath it here, which is just like a sponge, and it's going to spread out. One of the things with pet odor deodorization is overkill, 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 overkill. You're not going to be able to find out exactly where the perimeters are of that. So one spot is a 4 by 4 foot area. Okay, how many square feet is 4 foot by 4 foot? Huh? Huh?
16.
Huh? 16, 4 times 4, 16. 16 square feet. So that one spot, what do we charge per injection?
$1.25.
$1.25. So 16 times $1.25 is what?
$20.
$20. $20. So that's $20 to do the injection for that. You got to explain it to them. You need to explain it to them how you're coming up with the price. One injection covers a square foot. I need to do a 4 by 4 foot area so it spreads out and it takes care of it. Okay? You have to explain it to them so they understand it. If they understand, they'll buy. I know myself, if I don't understand, I'm not buying. You got to explain whatever I'm looking at, whatever I'm buying, whatever salesman's talking to me about. You got to explain it so that I understand it, so I'll buy it. Okay, so we got a 4 by 4 foot area, 16 injections. So we got $20 here, right?
Yep.
And another spot over there, $20 there. What if we had another spot over there? How much would it be?
60.
20, 40, 60. So I got one room, so maybe $60 worth of injections. Okay, so you're going to do the injections. So show us how to do the injections. Does anybody have any questions on how to explain it to a customer? We good? Okay. And also the office. You know, when we're asking them, always ask you, have any problem with any odors? You have pets? Ask them those questions. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, does the shark measure salt or water?
It measures moisture. Moisture. Okay, there's salt in urine, and salt holds moisture indefinitely.
moisture, okay.
So it measures, it detects the moisture. Just the moisture in your finger picks it up. Okay, all right. So now, we've done it, customer said, and then we got to deodorize the carpet, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you got to clean it, deodorize it. Do we just deodorize these spots?
Nope, the whole thing.
No, we all do the whole thing. Why do you deodorize the whole thing?
Just you want to make sure you cover the whole thing, and you do mix up a certain amount, so you want to kind of use what you have.
Right. So those are the things. We have to mix up a certain amount, so we have to do the whole area. Plus, when that dog ran from there to there to there to there, what would he do on top of the carpet? Maybe dribble. Yeah. So we want to make sure we do it. Remember, overkill, 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 overkill. Okay. We can't detect what's sitting on top of the carpet, only what's down in the pad. So that's what we got to do. Injections, deodorize the whole room. Okay. So how do we deodorize them?
So first of all, you're going to need your injection needle right here. And it's actually going to go on the end of your multi-sprayer. So just put it on there just like so. And then you're going to need your undoes it, which you mix it 50-50. 50 of this and 50 of clean water.
50 ounces to 50 ounces?
No, half and half.
Half and half.
Yep.
So cup of that, cup of that. So whatever you put in, 50-50.
Yep. All right, so you're going to go down to wherever the spot is on the carpet.
You go ahead and turn it on and do it.
So you're going to go into an area, and it's actually going to, you want to go down on an angle, not straight down, because you'll end up bending your needle if there's concrete floor or something like that underneath. So I'm actually through it, so everybody can see what it actually will look like. So basically, when you go all the way through, you want to pull back, hit the trigger, and then pull back. As you see, it's coming through. So just hold the trigger as you pull back, and you want to make sure you get the padding and then the backing of the carpet too as you go through. So basically, that's actually what it's going to look like on the other side, right there.
Okay, you saw how much came out. So don't sit there and hold the trigger for 10 minutes. What are you, just enough to shoot it on there?
Yep.
Okay, you want to put enough, but you don't want to have it where it's going to take 3 weeks for it to dry. So you don't want to saturate it. You just want to get enough. So maybe one, count of one.
Yep.
1, 2, or just
As
one?
you pull back. Yep. Just
Okay.
hold it. Just pull very back. Yep.
So when you put it in at an angle, you push it through until you feel it hit the subfloor. Why you do that is you want to make sure you're through the padding and you're going to get to the subfloor. So you hit the subfloor, don't jam it in there, just push it through until you feel it. After you do it a couple times, you'll be able to do it pretty daggone fast. Push it through there, you hit the subfloor, squeeze the trigger, pull it back a little bit. Why are you pulling it back? Because you want to get into the padding. Okay, you want to make sure you get some into the padding. Pull it back, make sure you get some in the padding, squeeze the trigger. So you actually squeeze the trigger twice. Once when you hit the subfloor, just boom, 1 second, boom, on and off real quick. Pull it back, on and off real quick. Remember, that's just enough that's going to spread out for a foot. Okay, and then you do about every foot, right?
Yep.
So you're going to do 16 injections, about every foot. You don't have to get a tape measure out and measure it exactly. It's just kind of that you're getting enough in there to cover it. So now we did the injections, right?
Yep.
And what did we use? Go over that again.
Use the undoes it.
Undoes
Mix it
it.
half and half. Half water, half undoes it.
Okay, so that's what we do to inject it. Anybody got any questions on that? nip. Okay, all right, what do we do next?
All right, the next thing you do is, it takes some time for the undoes to actually work. I always tell the customer, give it a couple days for everything to work. In the meantime, you can actually put, it's called space spray. It's actually got a cherry smell to it.
Okay, go ahead.
And you actually have this little hypodermic needle here.
Pass that away. Make sure I get it.
So it actually looks like this, hypodermic needle. And basically just take some of that. You don't have to do exactly the spots, but just go around. You don't need too many. I maybe do 3 to 4 in each room because it's pretty strong. It'll last a while. Just kind of give it that fresh smell until the undoes it actually works. So that's what
Okay. What the undoes it is, and the reason why, hold that needle up.
Yep.
Okay, it is glass. The syringe is glass, it's not plastic. Okay, the reason why we have to use a glass instead of plastic is this is a solvent. Remember, it's not water, it's solvent. Gasoline, it's as strong as gasoline, kerosene, and all that kind of stuff. Dry cleaning fluid, all, it's a solvent. And if we used a plastic syringe, and believe me, I've tried, okay, that's why we went to the glass ones. They're a little bit more expensive. Plastic one, tear it up. After about 2 times using it, it's no more good because the solvent melts the plastic. So they are glass syringes. So you got to make sure you have one, okay? And what do we have it in? What plastic container we have it
right
in?
here. Like a little,
Okay.
almost like a little cigar.
It is. It's a cigar holder. We found that works the best. You got to keep it in that because if you just throw that in your toolbox, it's glass. It's going to break. So you got to have it. Remember, this is just a cover-up. It is not doing anything to remove odor. Okay, all it is to make a smell, a cherry smell, okay, while that is doing. I've been using this stuff for probably 25 or more